And hello again, I'm Karen McIver and welcome to The Art of Class Part 2. This series is looking at the immense skills we celebrate as musicians working in dance. I describe myself as a musician working in moving image, and that ticks all the boxes from ballet to modern dance class, and often in my other life as a player for silent movies. So today I'm going to expand our musical ideas in professional ballet accompaniment. Last time I rolled out my 6 principles of music and anatomy. Tension release, lift, line, drive, support, breadth, all held together in precision. So I'm going to be looking at tension and release, and I completely understand this is the most tricky of all the capacities we need to provide great music for dance. It's tricky because the fundamental source of tension release comes through a deep knowledge of harmony. And we can only realistically extend our knowledge about harmony through practice and time. But for now, I'm going to show you some short videos with an explanation of what to listen for in music when we're trying to achieve this goal. After all, if you can identify the skills, it's a shorter journey to create your own music with the right components for music. So here goes. Please enjoy this short movie. I'll be back later with some thoughts and some practical ideas for you. My interest is in the bass line of the music here. So tension is in the lower part of the movement and release here. Tension, release. Now listen to the bass line when we get a foot change. Here, bass line. Then we're going to repeat with a more complex chord and the next. There we go. And a release coming. I'm more interested in how the melody works with the movement rather than the bass line. The bass line has got much more ease about it, but the melody has got some amount of tension, as you can hear with this. It's a G minor with an F sharp on the top, and it starts to relax into an F and then an E, so it's a falling top line. So I'm interested in the upper body here, where the neutral position is matched with a complex chord. This piece of music is intended to give a sense of ease, with no tension, no release. It's all to do with the slow harmonic change in this. In fact, the whole first position here has no chord changes at all. When we get into the second here, there are a couple of changes there. I learned in film school that the influence music has on visuals is profound, and that you see something different when you hear something. These videos are all identical. I love this little film as it shows a young dancer learning from her teacher. Despite this movie unchanging and repeating, I feel the music can influence how we view the dancers, and this is really important to understand. It's more readily revealed in cinema when a score can subliminally influence the viewer's opinion of a character. And so we see here how music influences our reading of the dancer's movement. Earlier, I talked about harmony being at the heart of this aspect of our work as musicians. Of course, rhythmic and melodic shape are fundamental in keeping harmony alive and holding the music together rationally. With this knowledge, we can associate aspects of anatomy with aspects of sound. So if you were to think back to the young dancer we viewed in the film, she's learning her movement skills simply by copying her teacher. And I would identify that pathway to learning as skin, bone, muscle. What I mean by that is she's only understanding the silhouette of the shape, and she's copying that as a young dancer. And I would call that skin deep level learning. But she'll soon learn to develop her skeletal shape and muscular shape, and which will lead to becoming a truly proficient dancer. Similarly, when we're, as musicians, starting out working with movement, we understand how to play only the basic rhythmic structure contained within the correct tempo. Then we add melodic shape and then cadences. Finally, we fill in this information with harmonic textures that resonate with the dancer. So similarly, that's our skin, bone, muscle is rhythm, melodic shape, and the muscle being harmony. So this all takes years of practice and study, but please don't be disheartened. As I said before, this all happens in real time, live when we're working with dance. Practicing away from the studio is helpful, and I shall give you some exercises later and in the series to try, but the magic only really happens in the studio, and so our practice time falls into the same category as our real-time playing, so it's win-win really. Before I leave, I'm going to set a simple task for you related to harmony. You'll be able to improvise instantly with these guidelines, and some results will prove better than others, but every time you come back to the same task, you'll have a new answer, and that's really inspiring. To paraphrase the great Louis Armstrong, every time I play, I need change only one note per performance and becomes a new improvisation, so please don't worry. Okay, every note of a scale can generate 3 major and 3 minor chords. Of course, it can produce all sorts of other chords, the 7th, the augmented and the diminished. We're not looking at that just now. What we are going to start composing is in the style of the minimalists. This requires no extensions at all. So we're looking at minimalist composers such as John Adams, Philip Glass, Michael Nyman, and to keep up the female side, the great Canadian dance collaborator Anne Southam. Let's think of the minimalists' unconventional use of harmony. Their exploitation of chords was based on the discovery that each and every note of a scale generates 3 major and 3 minor chords. So let's think of a note as sitting on a metaphorical washing line on which we can hang 6 chords. So for example, the note G generates G major, C major, and if we think a little harder about it, we come up with E flat major. For the minor chords, we have G minor and obviously the corresponding C minor. And the surprising 3rd minor chord generated by the note G is, of course, E minor. The surprising chords are the ones that give your music a little twist. So pick out 4 of these 6 chords and play them in order. Then decide on a time signature. I'm going to go for 3/4 timing. It doesn't matter what you choose. Once you cycle through them for a while, start to impose some structure upon them. What about arpeggiation? Octave shifting? Rhythmic change. So here's my result, a piece that I improvised using the minimalist template alongside TensionRelease for a piece of plie music. Next time we'll be looking at line, how to create great melodies. But for now, enjoy the music whilst the credit rolls.